You know, they say a black man is a pimp, but they never tell you about her mama, about the biggest pimp on planet motherfucking Earth. Her mama. Shout out to Eddie Griffin. It's her mama that told her, go out and get a man that got a good job, girl. Make sure he's got a good car, girl. Make sure he can go out and buy you something, girl. So what he's saying, Eddie Griffin, that the training the modern female has received is greatly aided, and her subsequent falling into the so-called traps of the pimps, hustlers, and gigolos is all due thanks to her mama, who primed her from a young age to seek out the dreams that were disconnected from the reality of today and very, very disconnected from the nomadic technological serfdom of today. So put the mama in chains, not the pimp, who's just trying to, from the grassroots, build something wholesome and natural. Because bitch is gonna bitch and hoes gonna be hoes, right? Can't change human nature. So that reminds me of this show I was watching about human trafficking, where the mama and the supposed victim, a teenage, quite mature looking woman who got trapped by the dream sellers on the internet. Now the same bitch wouldn't give the time of her day to somebody who maybe in 20 years could offer her those dreams, but that's not fast enough for the modern Tatiana, who's been trained by her mother, then by her peers and by the media, lifelong education, to be a dysfunctional female, just like the young dudes are not being told about the pitfalls of these gold diggers and these Delilahs and these Jezebels out there. And they willingly fall into the very same traps, destroying their whole lives, everything built up to that point in that process. So yeah, I was watching Sesame Street to get at an even deeper level while I was in the locked up for going apeshit on my family because of some paranoid thoughts and some real life drama being hoisted upon me through the civil courts, who are so ready to help this Jezebel, Delilah type of bitch, but while people are being shot down in the street, you know, because of the class system and the protected class versus the exploited class of men. I guess even a premenopausal Tatiana is worthy of being in a protected class. But if she was a mother of 4, maybe not so much. But since she's doing a good service as a good slave to the economy, and currently me, I'm saying fuck the world, engaging in quiet contemplation, along with very unsavory public discourses. So obviously I'm the one who has to go down. Despite the facts being on my side, despite even according to the PD, the facts she claims being completely doubtful, per her own evidence, most likely. But hey, it's good to know that a female is still thinking about me. That makes me feel special in this isolation. Although it seems I got my car back now. Even though I had my license months back. Anyway, I just want to talk back about the fact that Sesame Street is already training these kids along the lines of the book propaganda. One of the things the show started with was a Zoom meeting. And this Zoom meeting was about a group that were doing these mindless, repetitive Antifa type of chants of like, wow, the power of we. Basically mob rule. They were promoting mob rule, mindless mob rule, and feel-good emotions. Even they said it in PBS. Their motto is to learn through emotions and through groupthink, basically. So they're clearly telling you that they're emotionally engineering your kids, and you put your kids in front of them thinking they're actually learning something, when they're being hooked, crooked, and pulled in line and sinker into the pit, the filthy pit of the groupthink. The same groupthink that was okay with killing anybody different than them for the sake of the group and bettering the group. So among the chants, these Sesame Street propagandists were having the actor kids chant. Of course, we know they're all puppets, but there are actors involved, obviously, because consciousness comes from people, not from dead things. So the voices were those of actors, and they were just chanting that we are good, we're gonna save the world, everybody who doesn't agree with us is bad, and we're gonna fix them with our chants and slogans. They didn't really talk about violence, but they said that they were the end of violence, so it was implied that if you're not down with us, you have to be crushed. So kind of reminded me of what Dave Chappelle used to say, and how the back in those days it was about stepping on the homeless and only respecting those hard-working people who sell their souls, wear a suit and tie, and live the dead life of 9 to 5. But now it's all about saving the earth with our ideas, which are true because we all agree they're true, and we have sang enough songs to say that they're true, and therefore they must be true, because those bad guys who don't agree with us make us feel so bad. They must be bad, and so forth. Hopefully my listeners have grown out of this. If you're watching this, I got out of it pretty much 6th grade when I realized that the odds were stacked against me. I was an individual, and the history books and what I saw around me was the same shit, with people not having much care for each other and ready to fucking join a team to bulldoze the other side without any experience interacting or understanding the other side. Unfortunately, when I came to America, I started drinking the Kool-Aid, thinking it would make my life easier and make me socially better adjusted than I had been in the past. Although I could never beat that, because I lived amongst the people, not the ones I went to school with, but at least the ones in my neighborhood I used to play with. And because I went to a private school miles away in the main city. But I just spent 1 year with them, and I learned so much about the natural way in that year. How to clean your hands with no water, and definitely with no sanitizer. This alcoholic sanitizer. I don't know why we can't just use alcohol in a cloth like old school. Everything has to be all commercial and pre-packaged with extra additives that were never present in our cleansers, such as triclosan, which because of its overuse in hospitals had led to all kinds of super mutant viruses and bacteria being formed, which were now resistant to most kinds of antibiotics because of the overuse of these powerful antibiotics in common things, you know. Sunlight is a fucking cleanser. Water is a cleanser too. You don't have to go overboard with soap even. But anyway, my mom has taught me the natural way. George Carlin backed that up. And my own common sense and knowledge of science backs that up. So if you have time, make sure to keep a barf bag if you're sensitive to this hypocritical wolves in sheep's clothing kind of spiel that these motherfuckers give to little kids who are too inexperienced to know that what is really going on. So yeah, that's my video for today. Go ahead and watch some kids shows, especially those educational ones, and you might have an eye-opening experience just like I did today. Kunal checking out with a video fresh out the motherfucking hospital again, hopefully for the last time, because I gotta keep my mouth closed and eyes open and limbs ready to move. Later, gators.